Jannik Sinner picks up where he left off, and he is winning matches yet again. Sabalenka is coming through adversity, but she keeps winning too. Maybe she's the favourite for Roland Garros. And we're going to be speaking about them too, and all of the other players and the action in Rome.
Jannik Sinner, he hasn't missed any tennis, it seems, because he looks just as good as ever, JG. And I was saying on the last podcast, I thought Jesper de Jong would be a really tough competitor for him, considering how well he was playing. But it just goes to show, just like riding a bike, Jannik Sinner goes back on a tennis court and wins comfortably yet again. And yeah, is he the favourite to go on to take the title in Rome? He has the crowd on his side. I wouldn't put it past him. I think it would be a little bit of a fairy tale if he was to win this tournament.
Yeah, I've been watching some of the post-match questions he was asked and his reaction. He seems very calm. Not many people speaking to him about the suspension from the tour. They're all focused on how he's feeling and how he's playing. He seems just like the old Jannik Sinner. I mean, nothing's changed at all. We saw with Ego when she had her suspension or following her all the allegations and everything but around her. She's not been the same player. She's not won a title. She's struggling on the clay. But Jannik Sinner just looks comfortable. And this was a really good opponent in Jesper de Jong. We had the moment where he went over there when he fell over, just showing that kindness from Jannik, which everyone loves to see. The crowd are taking to him. You've got carrots in the crowd. You've got people dressed up with all ginger hair, the Italian flags to be expected in Rome. And he's probably going to win the event. I don't think anyone can touch Jannik Sinner when he's in this kind of form. It feels very much like Sabalenka, who's dominating on the women's, but we'll go on to that in a second. Look at this. You can see the love and the amount of people trying to get into this stadium to see him. He's a superstar in Italy, Jannik Sinner. He's an absolute superstar. For the British fans who watch our podcast, and yourself, Ben, and I guess me, because I am British, he was speaking about Jack Draper afterwards. He was asked about Jack Draper and their friendship and the admiration he has for him. They've known each other for a long time. And I thought it was quite fitting because right now I feel one of the best matches we can witness would be a Jannik Sinner Draper. Draper is someone who is ultra aggressive, and the way he's playing and hitting the ball right now, I think he's the only person who can really lay a glove on Jannik Sinner. You can make arguments, of course, for Carlos Alcaraz, and that's always going to be a good match. But I think Draper offers something a little bit different to Alcaraz. We've seen Draper beat Alcaraz, bearing in mind, on his favourite surface, his favourite tournament in Indian Wells. So I want to see Draper, Jannik Sinner. I'm cutting straight to it. Sinner speaking about him. Sinner looks comfortable. Draper looks good. I think that's the match in tennis we need to see right now.
Yeah, sign me up. It's the one that before he went away, I know that we have been and seen it at a slam, but not when Draper's actually been this Draper. Draper's come on leaps and bounds since he had that defeat. And I think he's grown. And with no Jannik Sinner for the last 3 months, you've seen what has happened to Jack Draper in that short time frame. It's been miraculous. And some other players as well, like Jakub Mensik. There's been some players coming through looking good. But that is the matchup. I would love it if Draper could go deep in this tournament, especially after doing so well in Madrid as well. It would really stamp his authority on the ATP rankings. If he could prove he can play on a slow clay court and dominate, it'd be massive for a British player. There's not many British players out there that can say dominate on this type of clay court. And he's looking pretty good so far, Jack Draper, even though he's not had the toughest opposition. But you can only beat who's put in front of you, and he's looked pretty convincing so far. But long way to go.
Am I correct in saying that they can only face off in the final?
Yeah, correct.
Because they're on the other side of the draw. We could obviously see Draper Alcaraz before. If Draper then is to beat Alcaraz, then I think we are destined potentially for that Draper Sinner final. But let's steady the ship. Plenty of tennis to play. There's a lot of other good players to mention. We'll speak about Jakub Mensik in a minute, because I think he's one of the more dangerous players on the men's tour right now. One who has real credentials for a top 10, and wouldn't surprise me if he goes really far at Roland Garros and does well in all the slams, because he's a multi-surface player. But let's go to the women's and Sabalenka, because that is the other big story. We've got the 2 world number one, Sinner, Sabalenka. Sabalenka may be more dominant, I would say, because there is a sense of inevitability when she steps out on court at the moment that she's going to make at least a final. And it seems only the only way she's going to lose in this year is in a final, because she wins against everyone else. And every time I switch it over to see how she's getting on, I don't tend to watch too much of it. The reason being because I kind of know what's going to happen. It's like a film in which you've already watched it a few times and you know the ending. Because even when she was losing that second set against Kostyuk, she was 5-3 down. She saved set point and the tie break. You just know she's going to win, and that's what happened. She's very, very good and completely wiping it away in the rankings. I don't know if you've seen how many points she's got. Right, nobody.
So what a player! I totally agree. The one thing I like about that matchup, as much as I'm disappointed that Kostyuk wasn't able to push her again, it's the same story, like you said. When she gets close to that business end, she's able to just raise the level. And Kostyuk was playing some amazing tennis, but Sabalenka went even like past that Kostyuk level. And some of the winners, like the forehand down the line winner, I think late in the tie break, when she let out that massive scream, she just went, "Wow!" and it just went down the line. I was like, "Oh my God." The whole crowd erupted. And then you just knew then, oh yeah, that's the one. She's won it now. And yeah, she went on to win it. Kostyuk, fair play to her. I know it's always going to be an exciting matchup between the two, but I always know the result, which is a bit annoying. But at least she pushes her a little bit. And even though there's no handshake, I think that there is still admiration for each other and how they have great battles on the tennis court. I think I heard her saying, I saw Kostyuk in a interview saying about she's obviously got a dog there at the tournament and she has him in the interviews, and then was talking to some of the people on Tennis Channel. But I think they asked her, has your dog made any friends there? And I think she mentioned something about Aryna's dog being there as well, but I don't know if that was the same person. I was like, oh, imagine if they became friends and she has to start speaking to her. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
What about Andreescu? She's always usually brings her dog.
There's a lot of them who have a dog, isn't there, these days?
Well, it's quite lonely, I feel, the tennis tour at times when you're traveling around
at these events.
Nice. But I don't know if you can bring your dog everywhere. I know Andreescu always used to have the dog there, but I must admit I've not seen too much of it, and I've been focused on the actual tennis. Maybe I've become a bit boring as I'm getting older. But I'll leave you to speak about the dogs, Ben. But in terms of the live race, I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I'll bring it up now for you.
Because it highlights the dominance of Sabalenka. Already 5,000 points. She's got 5,295. It's going to extend even more. Second best player this year, may surprise you, has actually been Madison Keys. Of course, we saw what she's in Australia, but she's still done not too bad since. Iga's down in 4. You got Svitolina inside the top 10 in 7th. Alexandrova in 9th. You wouldn't have expected that. Towson in 10th. I know we both had her in the top 10 a few years ago. We thought maybe she could break in. It looks like she's doing well now. And the big one for me is in number 13, Paolini. Her year has started, I think, these last few weeks. She's just started to get going. It was a slow start. Now she's getting into a rhythm. It's her favourite time of the year. I think she's got really good credentials to go far in Rome. Wouldn't surprise me if she's inside the top 10 of the race come the end of this tournament. I think she can go and win it, maybe, or at least get to the final and probably lose to Sabalenka like everyone does. But that will be fantastic for her. And I really like how she's now finding her form and moving through the draw.
Yeah, she looks very impressive. I think being in Italy is really helping her as well. Obviously, beating Ostapenko. It's not
It's
an
got to give
easy
you some
thing.
confidence.
Yeah, definitely. And that Italian crowd, don't underestimate how much that can give someone like a Paolini a lift. And it wasn't too long ago that we saw her in the final Roland Garros. So you got to remember that. And I think she must be having sort of flashbacks to how well she was playing last year. And I thought maybe she'd drop off. Maybe she wouldn't be able to maintain the level. But I look like I'm wrong on this one. And Paolini is here to stay. And I'm quite happy about it. I think she's a really, really fun player, really fun personality. I don't know if you've seen this. They put out a promo for the Rome event where they're all having some weird dark moments of the Gladiator, they're calling it. And Paolini is there on the court, picking the clay up and just letting it crumble into her hands. And then it's all like dark, and then it suddenly cuts, and then the people come and have a go at her and say, look, we just finished laying this court. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. And runs off the court. There's always these funny little acting like roles they do, and that I do like them.
Not seen it. Can't comment.
I'll send it to you.
Just like the dogs, I'm not sure.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm everything that's off the tennis court by the looks of it today.
That's good. But I think we need some balance. So
that's it. But talking about the women's game, obviously we've been talking about how good Paolini is. You can see another result, which is there on the screen. I was excited to see Raducanu playing against Coco Gauff. Did I think she was going to beat Coco Gauff? No. And was it even close? No. Coco Gauff, she's even playing the doubles this week. She hasn't played as much doubles this year, but she's maybe feeling herself, wanting to be out there on the court a bit more, playing with Iala in the doubles. And now she's just battering Emma Raducanu off the court. And even though Raducanu did play quite well in spells, just not enough. Gauff that good.
Yeah, there's a golfing class between the two. I'm looking forward to the doubles, like you say. That's a good pairing, and I think could be quite exciting. The real good things to speak about with Gauff is, I don't know if you saw her selfie she did after the match. She was doing a selfie and Raducanu got in there, and as she got into the frame, you can't see it from this angle. You see Coco's face just drop because she didn't realize she was going to be there. So it was a bit of an awkward situation. I don't know if they like each other or not. Doesn't seem to be that friendly between them, but yeah, I thought it was quite funny. And then Coco Gauff afterwards, she posted a story about her stats, and it's another stat she's completed being a young player. You have to bring it up to remind me exactly what it was.
Let me have a look.
But she's just laughing about the fact that it's another young player stat, and she's been on the tour for what, 5 years? Yeah, here we go. Been on the tour for 6 years, and the age stats are still coming, lol. And this stat was, she's the second youngest to reach the women's single quarterfinal in both Madrid and Rome in one season. And it is astonishing that she can even claim youngest player stats when you've got other young players, and she's been on the tour for 6 years.
Yeah, it's insane. 6 years. It doesn't seem real, does it? But she's still so young and improving all the time.
I guess Alcaraz can probably do the same kind of stuff.
Yeah, a little bit. I would have thought so. I'm excited, though, for what's to come with both of those players. I don't think Gauff is even close to peaks yet in her career. She's still the best is to come. I think Alcaraz, we've seen some super high levels when he came through. We're starting to see a few more injuries now from Alcaraz and a little bit going off the boil. I still think his top level is yet to come as well, but we have seen a really high level from him already. Whereas Gauff, like I said before, the trajectory is it's a bit like the Sinner one, I think, with Coco Gauff. Just slowly getting into the rhythm. And I don't think it's going to be long until we see her with a French Open title, with Australian Open up. She could get them all, I think.
She's won more matches now at Rome than Iga had at 22.
Ooh, I like that one.
And we know you had Iga winning. Are you going to apologise about that terrible pick?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was not a good pick.
What did you just look at? Whoever won it before and thought, oh, she'll win again?
Well, yeah. Normally, I'm the
You didn't
guy.
read into the form much, Ben.
Well, you normally have a go at me when I read into form. Now I'm being had a go at for picking someone who's good at the event, and
It's
whatever
all
I
part of
do,
the podcast. Have
it
a
all
go at you
goes wrong,
regardless.
doesn't it?
It's all part of it's all part of the Ben way, you know.
Well, the match I thought that would be toughest for Iga, even though I thought that she would go through, would have been against Svitolina, and I still stand by that because Svitolina's now just gone and taken out Danielle Collins, who's the one who took out Iga, and she's done it in straight sets as well. So Svitolina's amazing run of form continues.
I think it's good, but
Up.
I still think Svitolina would have beaten Iga.
Yeah.
So I'm not. That's what I just don't think Iga's feet. She's having a bit of a problem at the moment, and that's why I'm not going to put loads of. Oh, Danielle Collins is so good. Yeah, I'm not surprised she lost to Svitolina. I had that one. I think I had Svitolina beating Iga in my bracket. I'll have to confirm that. So it's all going to plan so far with that. I've just seen a Sinner stat. I know we spoke about him, but I need to bring it up. Did you know he's now won his past 42 matches against opponents outside the top 10? It's like, it just shows, like, it gives me that Sabalenka vibe of the sense that
scary.
Anyone who's not top 10, he will just beat you. He's not going to lose to anyone outside of it.
Easy.
Whereas you look at Alcaraz, he can lose to them.
Yeah, it can be erratic sometimes with Alcaraz.
But he's not played Mensik yet, and that's probably a good segue because this guy can play, and I think he is outside the top 10, right?
Mensik is, yes.
He's got to be.
Yep. So Mensik is currently at 21 in the world. He came into the tournament and knocked out your final. Was he your finalist? I don't know. I can't remember. Did you ever in the final this time, or was it?
I had Musetti in the final.
Okay.
I think it's Musetti Sinner final.
Okay. So Mensik, though, definitely won. I wouldn't have been mad if anybody had put him in the final. We obviously haven't done a draw preview for this one. I know we did a draw reaction. Be interested to get your take on this podcast, actually, of who would be your semi-finalists, because I'd like to see how you would be picking based upon who's still in.
But can I give you who I actually had?
Yeah, sure.
You don't know who my semi-finalists
No, I don't know at all.
Right, so going to my quarterfinals, I had Sinner, Berrettini, Fonseca, Mahat, Draper, Alcaraz, Musetti, Zverev. So pretty standard. Obviously, some of them are not very good because they've gone out. Gosh, it gets even worse. This next one. So you were right. Yeah, I did have Berrettini up there. It wasn't Sinner. So now I've got Berrettini, Mahat at the top, and then Draper, Musetti. And at the bottom, and then in the final, I did have Berrettini, Musetti, with Musetti winning the whole thing.
All Italian. I love it. It was going full out with that Rome vibe. Well, my one, I'm trying to remember who I had. So I had at the top, I can only remember my semi-finals that I picked. But the top, I had Casper Ruud versus Jakub Mensik in the top half. And the bottom half, I had Draper Musetti. So I hadn't picked, I can't remember who I picked as a winner. I can't remember off the top of my head. Okay. But
I'll have a look in a second, see if I can find your one. But in the meantime, let's speak about Jakub Mensik beating Marazan, the guy who knocked out Fonseca. Mensik is 19 in the world now. It's a matter of time until he's top 10. This is the player who would, I think, or could cause a lot of problems to Jannik Sinner's record of beating players outside the top 10, because this guy is seriously good.
Yeah, and the rest. Malazan has actually been having a good tournament, like you said, and it hasn't really mattered when you come up against somebody, and this is how good Mensik is at the moment. He will defeat players who aren't quite at that top level. Just like we were talking about Jannik Sinner, I think Jakub Mensik's getting to that type of level at the moment. Bear in mind, he's somebody who's had some massive victories this year. He's won a Masters event as well into the boot. And if you look at the live race, I'm just going to bring it up on the screen for a second. He is number 7 in the live race at the moment, just behind Alex de Minaur, behind Casper Ruud, Jannik Sinner in 4th. We've got Zverev 3, Draper 2, and Alcaraz leading the way just over Jack Draper at the moment. It's very exciting on the men's side, to be honest. Djokovic just out of the top 8 there. Cerundolo is Jannik Sinner's next matchup, which I know they say they only get more difficult. And I know you're saying before that Jannik Sinner beats everybody outside of the top 10. Francisco Cerundolo on a clay court doesn't get much tougher in your first tournament back.
And that highlights it there. He's been the 8th best player this year. Men's six been the 7th best, which is insane. It's crazy how close Sinner is to the top without playing for however long it was.
Yeah.
How long was he off the tour
3
for?
months.
You're joking. 3 months and he's already there. It feels like a month, but it just, I don't know, crazy times. But Sinner simply is that good. And let's have a look at some of the other men's results today.
Yeah,
Delian lost to Dimonor. Paul beat Mahat, which was not good for my bracket, turns out. And Rude with Berrettini. Let's speak about it because it was a retirement. Berrettini was playing well, but he's just got his injury problems. And an injury-free Berrettini can do serious damage. And I had him going far, but it's not to be. Hopefully, he can be fit for Roland Garros. But in this current state, this level of Berrettini with these injuries is not going to win stuff.
Yeah, when will the injury worries end for Matteo Berrettini? And a nice message from Casper Ruud after the match, just saying, sorry, Matteo, feel better. That's what he wrote on the camera. I still think Casper Ruud, though, one of these players who you've got to look at. He's just come off a win in Madrid. He's now playing on a more suitable clay court in Rome, and you'd have to say in this type of form can beat anybody. So don't overlook Casper Ruud. We always do it, and now I'm saying it's probably going to fail, but I don't want to overlook him. I had him in the semi-finals in my bracket for a reason, because I really think that he's that good, and I think he could challenge a Jannik Sinner in Italy should they meet.
Well, they could meet, because if Sinner does beat Cerundolo, most likely that could be the next match, because I fancy Ruud to beat Munar. So we could be seeing it in the next few matches. But let's wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will go through... do you want to do this now, the women's quarterfinals?
Yeah, let's just do a quick pick, because these are going to be starting tomorrow.
We're not going to have time otherwise, you're right. So let's go through them. I'll have Sabalenka, Andreeva, Paolini, and Svitolina.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Goff beating Andreeva. I don't think Andreeva is going to get her first victory over Goff, sadly for her. Sabalenka, Goff, Paolini, Svitolina. Yeah, so just one slight difference there. Let us know your picks in that comment section below. Unfortunately, we can't put out a separate video for this one, but we will bring you some reactions to the quarterfinals tomorrow evening.
But I do think Andreeva's going to beat Coco Gauff. I have a feeling it's going to be the underdog. Andreeva's so good, and you've got to remember how many times she's beating everyone as well at the moment. She's having a fantastic year, me and Andreeva. But let us know what you think in the comment section. Who do you think are going to win their matches and whatever we spoke about? Do you think Sinner is going to do enough to win in Rome, or is it going to be one of the other names we've mentioned? If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon.